doorbell footage appears to show the officer punching Sharia Moore several times in the head while she was on the ground. You heard her say, "I don't have a warrant." The officer continues to strike her. After he tackles her to the ground, it appears the officer does not say anything until another officer runs over and intervenes.
The officer on your screen threw a 34-year-old woman to the ground and hit her in the face again and again, while a second officer stood right there and said out loud, "I got her." He kept swinging anyway. That was Friday morning in Shelby, North Carolina. By Saturday, that officer was fired. By Monday, he was in handcuffs himself, charged with a crime. 3 days. That almost never happens. My name's George Graves. I'm a criminal defense attorney, and I've spent my career on both sides of moments exactly like this one, where a body camera, or in this case a doorbell camera, captures the thing the police report would never tell you. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you what the law actually says about this, not the outrage, the law. There is one specific phrase in this footage that legally ends this officer's defense before it starts. There's a reason it was a doorbell camera that took this man down and not the body camera he was wearing. There is a second case coming that the criminal charge has nothing to do with, and I'm going to tell you what this is going to cost the city with real numbers from cases just like it. Watch closely. Because the people defending this officer are making an argument that sounds reasonable and falls apart the second you understand one rule.
We're learning more about the circumstances of a violent arrest in Shelby that led to an officer being fired today. David Schumann's been following the story and has the latest, and a warning that some of this video may be difficult to watch.
Shelby's chief of police called this arrest caught on Ring doorbell camera disturbing and unacceptable. An officer is seen repeatedly striking a woman as she appears to clutch at him. Saturday morning, roughly 24 hours after what happened,
the officer involved in this incident has been terminated from employment with the Shelby Police Department.
The woman in the video is Sharia Moore. Her stepmother told Queen City News her daughter isn't doing well and doesn't think firing the officer goes far enough. On Friday, Moore's father joined a protest on her behalf.
It was not called for her. She was crying out for help. She said, I'm not been taking my medicine.
Moore was charged with 3 misdemeanors: breaking or entering, resisting a public officer, and assaulting a government official. Her arrest records identify the officer as Carson Hyder. Court documents say Sharia ran from now former Officer Hyder as he was trying to arrest her for breaking into a house on this street. The assault charge states she was, quote, grabbing and ripping his uniform. Neighbors who have seen the video view it differently.
Something really need to be done around here about that, man, the way these people are doing people, man. And just beating a woman, you beat a woman.
Think about if that would have been your child. How would you feel right about now if you was in my shoes?
The State Bureau of Investigation is reviewing the case.
Every use of force case in this country runs through one decision: Graham versus Connor, decided by the Supreme Court in 1989. It says police force is judged by whether it was objectively reasonable from the view of a reasonable officer on the scene. Sounds vague? It isn't. The court gave us 3 specific questions. 1, how serious was the crime? The warrant was for breaking and entering and resisting. Misdemeanors. No violent felony, no weapon. Low on the scale. And under Graham, a low-level crime justifies less force, not more. 2, was she an immediate threat to anyone's safety? Look at where she is, on the ground, pinned. A second officer is already on top of the situation. A woman face down with 2 officers on her is not an immediate threat to anybody. 3, was she actively resisting? This is the one the officer's defenders cling to, and I'll deal with it honestly in a minute. But here's the rule they skip. Graham doesn't ask whether she ever resisted. It asks whether the force matched the threat at the moment the force was used. And that is where this case is decided. The takedown, maybe you argue about, but the blows that landed after she was on the ground, while another officer said, "I got her," there is no version of Graham that protects that. That phrase, "I got her," is the whole case. It's a second officer telling the first one, on tape, the situation is controlled. Every blow after that word is force, with no threat to justify it. That's not me being dramatic, that's the legal standard applied line by line.
One Shelby resident telling us that she had no idea she captured the incident until she checked her Ring camera. Caught on camera. Disturbing moments showing a Shelby police officer punching a woman multiple times while she was on the ground.
My camera kept going off, and I didn't think nothing about it because, like I said, the children be out here playing. I came to my door and I tried to open up my screen door, but I couldn't open it up. The chairs and stuff was up against the door. Went on my little app and looked at my camera footage, and that's when I saw everything that happened and where he was hitting her and stuff.
The woman, who did not want to be identified, says she immediately showed the video to her daughter.
Her face, as you see on the thing, it was really swollen and bleeding. My daughter.
Now, if this were only about whether the officer broke the rules, it would be simple. It isn't. Because when she sues him, and she will, he gets to raise the one defense that has protected police in this country for decades: qualified immunity. Here's how it works and why it matters. Qualified immunity says a government officer cannot be sued for violating your rights unless that right was, quote, clearly established at the time. In plain English, a court asks, has another court already ruled that this exact kind of conduct is illegal? If nobody has, the officer walks, even if what he did was wrong. The Supreme Court built this framework in a case called Pearson versus Callahan, 2009. And it is where most police misconduct lawsuits go to die. The victim never even gets to a jury. So why is this case different? Because of the camera. Qualified immunity thrives in the gray, the he said, she said. The split-second judgment call with no recording. But here is a rule no officer in America can claim was unclear. You cannot beat a suspect who is on the ground, subdued, and under control. That has been clearly established law for 30 years and more. The video does not just show the violation, it erases the gray area qualified immunity needs to survive. This is one of the rare cases where the footage is so plain that the usual shield cracks.
A police officer suspended in response to community outcry over his actions during an early morning arrest. The incident was recorded by doorbell camera. Thanks for joining us tonight. After football, I'm Brian Blakely. That viral video led to protests in Shelby tonight with a response from city leaders. But as Queen City News reporter Andy Weber shows us, demonstrators want more action against the officer.
I don't have a warrant. I don't have a warrant or it's in the house. What are you doing?
It's this doorbell camera video that spurred a large protest in Shelby early Friday evening.
If she got hit 12 times in the face, she don't weigh 95 pounds. She's supposed to have bruises on their face.
That's Gregory Moore, who says it's his daughter in a video released Friday night. Shelby Police Chief Brad Frazier said the officer approached the woman because she was acting suspicious near an investigation scene. Frazier, though, was quick to denounce what the video showed.
The actions taken by one of our officers during that encounter are disturbing and inappropriate.
The yet-to-be-named officer is now on administrative suspension with an internal investigation underway.
We understand the concerns this instance has caused within our community and want to assure the public that this matter is being taken seriously. The Shelby Police Department remains committed to the professionalism, accountability, and maintaining the trust of the community that we proudly serve.
Now let me be fair, because if I'm not, I'm no better than the outrage machine. The officer's supporters are saying the same thing in every comment section. She grabbed him first. She was ripping at his uniform. The video's edited. You're not seeing what happened before. And some of that I can't rule out. I haven't seen a longer video, and I'm not going to tell you one doesn't exist. The charge against her does allege she grabbed and pulled at his uniform. So let's assume, for the sake of argument, every word of that is true. Here's what people miss. It changes almost nothing. Resistance earlier in an encounter does not write a blank check for force later. The law measures the threat at each moment force is applied. A woman grabbing a sleeve while she's standing is one threat. That same woman, seconds later, face down with two officers controlling her, is a completely different one. The force has to come down as the threat comes down. The she resisted argument might explain the first move. It does not explain what came after she was down. And there's one more fact I'm not going to hide from you, because it cuts both ways. Court records show these two had history. Last year, she pleaded guilty to resisting this same officer in a separate case. The officer's side will say that proves she's a problem. But think about what it actually raises. This is the second documented physical arrest between one officer and one resident. A pattern between a specific officer and a specific person is not a defense. In a civil courtroom, it's evidence.
Not hit one time, not hit two times, not hit three times, but 12 times with a man's fist in her face.
Sharia more! Sharia more!
Michael Moore says his niece, Sharia, has multiple facial injuries after the use of excessive force from a Shelby police officer on Friday morning during her arrest.
Sharia's life is in turmoil right now. She's confused right now.
But harm has been caused in more ways than one.
You can only imagine how I feel to see my niece body slammed to the ground.
With the hearts of the entire community hurting as they press for answers.
If I think my life is in danger and a 90-pound girl is in front of me, I'm gonna tase her first. Why you didn't tase her? Why'd you have to beat her with your fist? That was a fist fight.
No justice, no peace!
Moore wants the officer involved fired and says the family will press charges.
No justice, no peace! No peace! Let's prosecute the police!
While dozens of protesters took to Shelby's streets demanding justice.
We have some breaking news right now, and we want you to take a look at this, a live look from some protesters or demonstrators. They are just outside of the Shelby Police Department, and we're told that many of these people are upset about this. You see this doorbell camera video we're showing you now. It at one point shows an officer. He appears to be punching a woman outside of this home. We've got our graphics up there, which might be covering. We're removing that now so you can see better. The timestamp, you see, he appears to be punching this woman. Timestamp showing this happened around 8 o'clock this morning. We have blurred out the woman's face. As soon as we learned about this around noon earlier today, we did.
So let's talk about what this actually costs, because that's the part the outrage videos never tell you. When a case like this settles, real money changes hands, and it does not come from the officer's pocket. It comes from the city, from taxpayers. I pulled the comparable cases. In St. Helens, Oregon, an officer punched a woman in the face while she was on the ground during an arrest. The body camera contradicted his story. That city paid $700,000, one punch. In Akron, Ohio, an officer broke a man's nose during a stop. The settlement there, $24,000. The same kind of injury Cherry Moore is alleged to have. A possible broken nose. So why the gap between $24,000 and $700,000? One word: leverage. The video, the right lawyer, and a criminal charge against the officer. This case has all three. And there is a second target. Under a Supreme Court case called Monell, you can sue the city itself, not just the officer, if the harm came from a policy, a practice, or a pattern the department ignored. Remember what I told you. This is the second documented violent arrest between this one officer and this one woman. A civil rights attorney is going to ask a very simple question. What did this department know about this officer, and when did they know it? Now here's the wrinkle people miss. Shelby is a small city. A single 7-figure payout can swallow a chunk of an entire department's budget. Small towns don't have deep pockets, and that cuts two ways. It can pressure them to settle fast to make it disappear, or it can make them fight to the end because they genuinely cannot afford to lose.
Let me grab your arm. I'm circling arms with these young men out here today because what they are doing is real. What if the camera had not been on him? What would have happened to her?
So here's the part nobody's explaining. The footage that ended this officer's career is a doorbell camera. A neighbor's doorbell. Ask yourself why. That officer was almost certainly wearing a body camera. Where is it? In North Carolina, police body camera footage is not a public record. You cannot request it like a normal document. Under state law, Section 132-1.4a, releasing that footage to the public requires a judge. A superior court order. A private doorbell camera has no such restriction. So the video the whole country saw is the one the law couldn't lock up. The body camera, the officer's own angle, the seconds before that exists. And right now it's sitting with investigators behind a court order when her attorney goes to get it. And they'll have to petition a judge. Remember that the next time a department says the body cam will clear everything up. In this state, you might need a court order just to see it. Now, the charge. Court records show he's charged with assault inflicting serious injury. Under North Carolina law, that's a Class A1 misdemeanor. A misdemeanor, the maximum is 150 days. If prosecutors decide her injuries were severe enough, there is a felony version of that charge available, and the district attorney still has that option. So the criminal case is not over. It may get bigger. But here's the thing most people watching don't realize. That criminal charge is not her case. It's the state's. The state is prosecuting him for breaking the law. What she has is completely separate. It's a federal civil rights claim, Section 1983. And it goes after the officer and potentially the city itself for violating her Fourth Amendment rights. He could be convicted, acquitted, pleaded down, and that civil case still stands on its own. 2 tracks, 2 cases, 1 video. And before I close, one thing for you, because most of you clicked this wondering what you do if it's ever you on the ground. Hear me clearly. If an officer is arresting you on a warrant, even a warrant you think is wrong, that is not the moment to win the argument. You do not resist, you do not pull away. You comply, and you survive the encounter. Because here's the brutal truth this case proves. Cherry Moore's strongest defense was never going to be her hands. It was the camera. Resisting hands the officer his narrative. Footage takes it away. You fight an unlawful arrest in a courtroom with a lawyer where you win, not on the pavement where you lose. I'm George Graves. If this officer had written the report and no camera existed, you would have never heard her name. That's why you film. That's why you know this. Know your rights.